All right, Steve, a great race last weekend, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Am Better Health 400. I thought it was very exciting. How about Christopher Bell, age 30? The guy got the DeWalt Toyota number 20 in the victory lane after a long time coming. That's like, what, way back to New Hampshire, like a year ago. Finally put Joe Gibbs back into the winner's circle. And I thought it was an outstanding race, as Atlanta always proves out to be a pretty good race.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic race. And Christopher Bell being at the right place at the right time, he led one lap. The only
Yeah,
one that matters.
the right one.
The only one
The
that
only
matters.
one. Yeah. Well, that's all you need to do. That was his actual first victory and first top 10 finish in 2025. Christopher Bell has done very well in the series. I thought he ran a pretty good race. Just to keep yourself in the hunt is a good thing in Atlanta. He was right there when they needed to be. There were a couple of drivers, William Byron, and you had Blaney that was right there. You had Kyle Busch. You had a few of them that were right there. That last wreck that just kind of knocked a couple of guys out and put Christopher Bell right there as a threat to win the thing, and it come right down to the wire. In fact, if that yellow flag wouldn't have come out and at the right time, right after that green-white checker start, and right at the line, the yellow flag come out, and he was the leader and was deemed the winner at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And look how close it came for William Byron to double up, winning the first two races of the
Oh,
year. I
yeah,
mean,
after
that just makes you sick getting wadded up like that right at the end of the race.
yeah,
Hey, that's why it's racing.
yeah, getting the win at the Daytona 500 and then having the chance to win at Atlanta. Man, I tell you what, that's a strong team. One of the things I did notice is the Fords were just tough all day long. There was a lot of Fords. Joey Logano pretty much led the majority of that race for the longest time, and the Fords were just screaming. And I think it had a lot to do with the downforce of those Fords. They have an aerodynamic advantage, which is why they're qualifying well. They get that speed down a straightaway, and they've got a little bit of an aerodynamic advantage this year. When they didn't really have that last year, they're trying to figure things out last year, but this year, boy, they're awfully quick.
They are. They're looking really tough. And I was noticing just the difference just between the two and the 22 team cars, and there wasn't much of a difference between the way the two cars ran. They were right there, and they just seemed to have more power than everybody else on the track until they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Exactly it. And there were some other guys that ran good. Kyle Larson, he ran really well as
Yep,
had
had a
an
good run.
opportunity to win it. In fact, I thought he was going to pull it off. He was right there, and that car looked really strong there in the last couple of laps. And I thought, oh boy, here comes Kyle Larson.
He did look good. The Hendricks cars have looked really good, of course, with William Byron winning Daytona and being right there in position to win Atlanta. But they've looked really tough. The rest of the Chevrolets really haven't looked that spectacular. I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised that the Childress cars aren't better. And I think if it wasn't for how good of a driver Kyle Busch is, I don't think he would have been in a position at the end of the race to have a shot at it until that last caution.
No, they kept inching their way up there, and they were able to, put themselves in a position to have an opportunity. But that car, I don't know, they've been fighting through, and they just haven't been able to get over that hump. Joe Gibbs Racing, that was the 12th Cup win at Atlanta Motor Speedway for Joe Gibbs Racing. And that ties the Wood Brothers Racing for the second most of all time, I guess, at Atlanta. So Joe Gibbs Racing, the Toyotas have done pretty well at that track.
Not too shabby.
No, not at all. Not at all. Christopher Bell, he got the win in that DeWalt Toyota. Cameron Hoover, is that how you pronounce it? Hoover?
The
Har?
the yeah, the guy whose last name
Yeah,
starts with an H.
Yeah, that
That
guy in
kid.
that 77 car. He finished in second. Kyle Larson was third. Ryan Blaney finished in fourth. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. had a good run, finished in fifth. Denny Hamlin was sixth. Kyle Busch ended up finishing seventh. Ross Chastain finished eighth. Bubba Wallace finished in ninth, and John Hunter Nemechek rounded out the top 10 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I always like Atlanta. It's a fast track. It always
Ooh.
has been deemed the fastest track on the circuit. And it's one
Yeah,
of the favorites, that 1.5 mile fast track.
and the corners aren't banked as much as Daytona, and they're tighter, and they're running virtually the same speed. It's
Yeah.
pretty impressive the way they make those cars stick in the corners.
Joey Logano, he led 8 times for 83 laps. Josh Berry led 7 times for 56 laps. Austin Cindric led 3 times. And Ross Chastain, he led 7 times. Kyle did lead. Kyle Busch, he led 5 times. And Kyle Larson led 4 times. So there's a lot of lead changes at Atlanta, which is kind of to be expected at that track. And quite a few wreck outs there in Atlanta. Ryan Blaney did come out as the current points leader from Atlanta. He has a 12-point lead over William Byron. William Byron's second. Tyler Reddick is currently in third. Austin Cindric is in fourth, followed by Bubba Wallace in fifth. Kyle Larson sixth. John Hunter Nemechek is in seventh. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. eighth, and Alex Bowman ninth, with Chase Elliott rounding out the top 10. So now we kind of shift gears from the fastest track on the circuit and we go to a wild and crazy road course track, going to the road course in Austin, Texas. And I'm looking forward to that race. I always like a good road course. It shakes things up, if you will.
It does. It shakes things up a lot, and you know, it's funny because you don't really see the hired guns road course guys like we used to in past years. It seems as though the guys that are driving the cars now are way better at road courses than they used to be. And the Circuit of the Americas there in Austin is one hell of a racetrack.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to watch. I mean, they run F1 there, they run the Superbike there. It's a really cool course.
Yeah, and it's timed, I think, perfectly in the season. You got your big super speedway of Daytona, the fast 1.5 mile track of Atlanta, and then now you got a road course you're going to throw in there, and then we head to the West Coast where we'll have Phoenix and then Las Vegas after that. So all these different tracks. Early on is making things interesting, and things are heating up already. Like, it's exciting to watch. And just when you think you've got a driver figured out, and there's a few of the guys that we always say the cream rises to the crop. Ryan Blaney's kind of always in there right now. You've got Chase Elliott that's kind of in there, and a few others that have just shined so far. And now you're starting to see the Joe Gibbs Racing raise their bar a little bit and try, getting their nose into the play here. So it's going to be an interesting NASCAR season, I do believe, after watching these first couple of races.
Well, you got two speedway races right at the first of the season, which really gives the guys a chance to level things out. But then when you get the guys into a road course, which throws a whole nother new dynamic
Yeah.
into the racing. I mean, to be throwing 3,600-pound cars through those corners is amazing to watch, and what a testament to the crew chiefs and the crews that build those
Yeah.
cars. It's amazing that they stick like they do and they go as fast as they do around that course. It's great to watch, but those road courses and the super speedways, man, they kind of really mess with a lot of the guys, and especially the super speedways. There's a lot of luck in being winning those races. I mean, you got to be there, which takes a lot of skill, but there's still a lot of luck involved, being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I still scratch my head a lot when I see bonehead moves that
Oh,
wipe the field out with,
yeah,
4 to go. And I get it. They're doing everything they can to push to the front, but some of those moves, you just scratch your head and go, "You guys are the most
You,
elite drivers in the country or in the
you can't be
world for
that.
that matter." As
You
far as
can't be that stupid.
and you're doing this nonsense. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Some of these guys that, but and it's sad because you have some guys that have run up there all day long in the front, and then a bonehead move just ruins their day like that. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's just
Yeah, Kyle Busch expressed his displeasure, shall we call it, with Joey Logano at Daytona, and that I mean Logano had the fastest car. There's no question. That 22 car was just thundering, and he tried to stick that car where it really wasn't going to fit,
yeah,
and that was the end of that.
yeah,
Ruined
and
his day.
yeah, and you know what? I'd love to go to defense with for Kyle Busch, but let's face it, I've seen him do some pretty bonehead stuff in his past. I think
Yeah, let's
he's gotten a
let's
little
not.
more respectful as of late
Yes,
with some of these guys, but in his past, there was days when the Bush brothers, if they couldn't get around you, they'd just drive right through you.
that's right. They
Yeah,
put you in the wall to get around you.
yeah,
Whatever.
and they settled down quite a bit from that. But and now I think as I watch Kyle race, he gives pretty good room to other
He
drivers
does.
out there.
He definitely drives. He's still very aggressive, but he definitely drives uh, not cautiously, but more reserved.
Yeah. Is there any team that we talk about the Fords and how tough they've been looking so far? Is there any team that really kind of sticks out and stands out to you right now?
Right now, I got to tell you that 24 car team just really right up to the end of the race, they
Yeah.
look unbeatable, and they've just been tough and been running up front both of the races. We'll see what happens when he's got to turn right and left.
Yeah.
Uh, that that'll
William
be fun to
Byron.
watch. But yeah, and then the Wood Brothers car, man, that kid is just pounding that thing. He's right up there. Both races so far, he's kept it right towards the front.
Yeah, no doubt. I think those are a couple of good drivers that have proven to do pretty well. I tell you what though, I really have been watching Chase Briscoe. I tell you what, that kid in that 19 car is looking pretty good.
Yes, he is.
And he's had some really strong moments, and he's going to make things interesting as well, filling that seat there that Martin Truex Jr. come out of. That's a good team. And once they gel a little bit better, he's going to be tough. He's going to be real tough. In all, I think the action's been pretty exciting, and I look forward to
Very.
getting there. Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend with the road course, and then of course Phoenix is always another monster of its own. And then you and I are heading down to Vegas, and we'll do some. We'll walk through the garage area and do some videoing and stuff like that, and talk to maybe some of the drivers down there. That's always a good time. In fact,
That's a
folks, if
great
you
time.
haven't if you haven't got tickets for Vegas, I highly recommend you go to lvms.com and get your tickets and come on down and have a good time in Vegas. Weather's always great, and they
Yep.
always do it right down there. They really do.
They do, and not only get tickets to the race, but get the tickets to go into the Neon Garage and have a look inside because it is really cool.
It is the Neon Garage. It's a lot of fun, and they really put on a real entertaining weekend. Nonstop music, lots of celebrity impersonators, but you got to be careful because sometimes they're the real celebrities. They're
Yes,
pretty close, so got to be
yes.
careful.
I
Uh,
remember when we saw the Brock Lesnar impersonator.
yeah, but he was
That
the
was
real
Brock
deal.
Lesnar.
That was
That dude, holy crap, that dude's a monster.
yeah, yeah. He was,
But Kid Rock was there, impersonator,
and he was pretty
and
cool.
pretty convincing.
He was pretty authentic. Yeah, he looked just like him. And Willie Nelson looked pretty much just like old Willie. But yeah, it's a good time in Vegas, And if you haven't experienced it, you should come on down. Also, if I can give a shameless plug to our favorite barbecue place down there, Roadkill Grill. If you haven't been to Roadkill Grill, Steve, your favorite is the
Yeah,
burn ends,
absolutely.
right?
Burn ends. Yep. You
It's
got to
got to
get
be.
down there. You got to get down there to see Chuck and Anita,
Yeah,
and not just to eat, but
yeah,
everything that you eat is also available to take home.
yeah. And you're gonna pull up to this place, and you're gonna be like, "Where in the hell have Beck and Schoenfeld sent me?" Because it's like out in the middle of nowhere, and it's like literally in the middle of a neighborhood. Didn't
Yep.
used to be their
No,
own
that's
farm, right? But
well. It's Chuck is third generation meat shop at the
yeah,
same place, and
yeah.
it's pretty outstanding.
And it's been featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives, and it's good food. It is really
Yeah, and
good.
for Guy Fieri to come back later and say that's his favorite barbecue, that's quite a testament to
That is.
the
Yeah.
quality of the food. And
I've
by the
been
way,
to,
if you can order like a 2 meat platter and you can polish that off, God bless you.
God bless you. That's right. I was just gonna say
I can't.
it's a lot
I
of
I
food.
can't. It's a lot of
Yeah,
food.
they give you a big old heap and helping, that's for sure. And we've been to a lot of barbecue, like in Texas, Hutchins Barbecue and Heart Eight and Blacks. I mean, there's some good barbecue places down there.
Yep.
So I think you and I don't know. I mean, maybe by just the looks of us, we kind of know our barbecue, know our.
Amen.
So, but we'll be there for sure Saturday, probably right after the Xfinity race. I think that's definitely a stop we're
Uh,
going to make is down there to that
got to. You got
the
to go there.
Roadkill Grill. That's right,
Yep.
Roadkill Grill. Look it up, folks.
John Moles Meats.
That's
Yep.
right. Good place. All right, Steve. Real quick, want to touch tiny bit on drag racing. That's coming up here in 2 weeks, kicking off their season, and I'm looking forward to that nitro methanol, that good stuff. We
Yes.
burn down a quarter mile.
Unfortunately, I won't be watching that weekend. I'll be playing race car driver myself, along with a bunch of other. I was going to say idiots, but just crazy people. uh, and you know that the Hot Rod Heritage Series kicks off in Bakersfield at the historic March meet, which this is the 67th running of the March meet. It's the only continuous big event that and top fuel dragsters and fuel alders. Granted, they don't go quite as fast as the big show cars do, but man, they are fun to watch because the funny cars are kind of like the truck series. They're racing a brick at high speed.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be a good time, and I look forward to the Gator Nationals. I think that's going to be a good kickoff to the season, and
It's already sold out. Standing room
that's
is sold out
crazy.
at the Gator Nationals,
Yeah,
and it
that's
has been that way for probably 30 years.
wow. That's
It's
awesome.
one of those historic races that is anybody that's won the Gators will tell you how special that is, how
Yeah.
special of a race that is. I think the only one that probably trumps the Gators is the U.S. Nationals
Well, Steve, we got two
for
weeks.
having that in your host city.
Let's see if we can't get some of the Force Boys on, or maybe Antron Brown, or Ron Capps. Love to talk to him again. I'd also love to talk
Do
to our any of our pro stockers. Some of those guys too. So, um,
who do you want to talk to? I'll make it
you
happen.
know me, I'm a big Greg Anderson fan.
Yeah, me too.
I, I,
Greg
I like
Anderson.
I like
And
Greg.
actually,
He's good people. So if you want to bring on Greg, ring him up
yeah,
and see if he'll come on with us. And yeah, let's chat it up with a couple of them guys before the Gator Nationals.
let's do it.
All right. Well, again, appreciate you joining us. We'll recap the Circuit of Americas and follow through on that. Go to Facebook, Racing Fan Radio on Facebook. Follow us there, of course. Our YouTube channel, Racing Fan Radio, there as well. And we appreciate you liking and following our pages. And come back often. We try to put as much content up there as we can, throwing up post-race stuff, things like that. Some of the interviews from the press room. We're going to be doing a lot more of that this year, getting a little more aggressive. So we appreciate the fans out there, and maybe we'll see you at one of the racetracks.
It's just the start of the season. It's
That's
going to
right.
be great.
Yep. I'll talk to you soon, pal. Take care.